Tried to make every moment count this week. Now I'm just exhausted. Hey Dramaverse, it's India back yet again. This week we are going to be talking about She Was Pretty and looking at your failures as successes. She Was Pretty is mainly about Kim Hae-jin, who as a young child she was pretty and popular and rich, and she basically befriends Sung Joon, that's right. She befriends Sung Joon, who has low self-esteem and he's kind of overweight. They have great memories of each other. But of course, because this is a drama, they end up being separated. He goes to the United States, he comes back and he tracks her down. The problem is she sees him and she's kind of embarrassed because when she got older, she's not rich anymore. She's not as attractive as she used to be, and she's just kind of ashamed to kind of face him because now he's really thin and he's really handsome and suave and he's this successful magazine editor. The last thing you want to see when you see your first love after all these years is to see that disappointment on their face. You know, you're not exactly what they probably thought you would be. She basically asked her best friend Hadi to masquerade as her so she can go ahead and meet up with Sung Joon so that he's not all disappointed. And trust me, if you had a friend that looked like Hadi, you would ask her to do the same thing. I mean, seriously, have you look at her? She's ridiculous. Insanity ensues. He thinks that Hadi is Hae-jin, but the real Hae-jin actually ends up working at the exact same magazine that he's working out, and she has to hide her identity, and it ends up being all of these crazy antics and where she tries to hide who she actually is from him. It's kind of ridiculous if I'm being honest. I already adore the cast, even though Hwang Jung-eun has this really bad habit of overreacting to everything. I think that drives me crazy, but other than that, I love her acting. I think she's adorable, and of course, how could you not love Park Sung-joon? He is just dreamy, and his hair is just perfectly they definitely have that same chemistry that we saw in Kill Me Heal Me, which thank God, because you never really know with these things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, you never know. What I love most about their characters is the fact that they are both huge dorks, and I think that's where they kind of connected on when they were younger, and that continues today with their dorkiness, except, you know, it's a little bit different now because he doesn't know who she actually is, and he kind of sees her as kind of a waste because she's not really living up to her potential. But I think eventually they will get back to that shared dorkiness they have, and I love that already, and it hasn't even happened. Like, even though Sung Joon can definitely be a badass, he has these moments where, you know, one minute he's got his little hourglass and he's telling people, you know, he's just so noble. He also has these moments where he's running into class doors. It's just this dorkiness that I can't help but appreciate in my real life and also in TV shows. And then we have Choi Siwon as Sung Kyuk, who he continues to prove his comedic timing in every single role that he's in. Not only do I love Sung Kyuk because he is just so cute and he just seems like so much fun, but he is so petty and so childish. Most of the time I would find that really, really annoying, but when Choi Siwon does it, I have to say, Hadi is probably my absolute favorite. The girl is so much fun and she's so gorgeous, but most importantly, she will take you out if you come at her sideways, and I always appreciate people like that. I was already excited about this show because I knew that the writer for this show is the same writer that did High School King. The chief producer on this show is Han Hee, who was responsible for Super Rookie and Personal Preference and Fated to Love You. I knew we were in for a good show. Of course, he did also do Dr. Jin. We're gonna let that one go just this time. So far, the show has proven to be everything that I expected it to be. Fast-paced, funny, and even has some really emotional moments that kind of get you in the gut, but it's not so heavy that it weighs you down and you can't really get back into the humor of it all. While the main couple's interactions have been pretty rocky so far since he came back and he doesn't know Hae-jin is Hae-jin, I am already kind of able to survive on the romantic potential between them, and simply because you can see the effect that their connection as children had on him and how much he hangs on to that. You see how much he cares about Hae-jin, or at least the Hae-jin that he thinks is Hae-jin, because you see the way that he treats Hottie and how much he cares and how much he's willing to open up and let his guard down when he's with her. And that just kind of tells me that he really does feel like Hae-jin is the connection that he wants the most in his life. Hottie, she knows it's wrong to keep this going, but I totally understand where she's coming from. I mean, she's basically getting the male affection that she's been wanting. I mean, you want to talk about girl who's got some issues with men. Hottie's got some issues with men, and it's completely understandable because we have all met her family. I will readily admit that I do think Sungjoon and Hottie are pretty cute together, but she's kind of benefiting from the affection that he built up for Hae-jin as a child, so I don't really know how long that'll be able to go on. In the meantime, I think this is important for her to have this experience in where she's with a man who treats her the way she wants to be treated. The only thing about that is that means that this relationship is all one-sided, and it can't really work like that. I think there's more of a potential for Sungjoon to have a relationship with the real Hae-jin, and they could be, you know, this relationship in where they push each other to be better. It would be a reciprocal relationship instead of a one-sided relationship that he would have with Hottie. Here's the thing, as important as the romance is in this show, I think the friendship is even more important than the romance. One of the things I absolutely loved watching was Hae-jin kind of having to go through all of these failures at her new job, because while she's really good at doing a lot of clerical stuff, she is not exactly, you know, in the know when it comes to fashion, which I totally understand because fashionista, I am not. When she was ready to quit and she was talking to Hottie about this, Hottie is that friend that just says,
그래서 노력은 했고?
You have this amazing job and you keep failing because you're not putting effort in. So before you quit, put some effort in and then go from there. And I think that is kind of one of the most important things that I took from this. Not only that their friendship is majorly important, not only for them, but for this show, but also your failures are just steps to your successes. And to be honest, you learn more from your failures than you do from your successes. You not only learn things that you need to know, but then also you learn where to put your effort in and what you need to work on the most. And in that way, that will lead you to your success. And even if you put effort in and it still doesn't work out, that's okay. You can walk away saying, I put everything I could into it. So please, if you haven't already, please check out She Was Pretty. I love you guys to pieces. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.